Right now, the Biden administration is dealing with two major military conflicts in two separate parts of the world. And the desire to actually secure funding for the conflicts involving Israel and Ukraine was supposed to be the reason that moderate Republicans voted in a far-right Speaker of the House. With the intra-party war over House leadership resolved, the idea was that those emergencies would finally be dealt with. At least that was the idea. Today, it became painfully obvious that the Republicans' new Speaker, Congressman Mike Johnson, is not really going to deal with any of it. This evening, Speaker Johnson put every Republican on the record voting for a bill that did not include any aid to Ukraine and which would provide aid to Israel only on the condition that Congress defunded the IRS to allow billionaires to cheat on their taxes.
We have obligations and we have commitments, and we want to protect and help and assist our friend Israel, but we have to keep our own house in order as well.
You're just saying you will not pass Israel aid bill unless it's offset. Is that the correct interpretation of your comments?
That's what we're going to do. I did not attach that for political purposes, okay? I attached it because, again, we're trying to get back to the principle of fiscal responsibility here.
Okay, before we go any further here, it has to be pointed out that a bill that cuts funding to the IRS does not do anything to get back to the principle of fiscal responsibility. In fact, the head of the IRS estimates that cutting that funding would actually cost the U.S. $90 billion in tax revenue, which is plainly obvious. If you defund the tax police for rich people end up paying less taxes. It should be noted that Speaker Johnson and House Republicans are once again very concerned about the debt with a Democrat in the White House. They were far less concerned when Donald Trump added almost $8 trillion to the debt in a single term, in part due to massive tax cuts that Republicans passed to benefit the wealthy. I see a pattern here. And tonight, Republicans voted overwhelmingly to pass that bill tying aid for Israel to what is effectively aid for billionaires. So the domestic politics here are transparent, but the global consequences could be damning. Thomas Friedman writes today in the New York Times, "Thank goodness Johnson was not the speaker during World War II. He and his myopic members might have pressed to fund the war against the Germans in Europe, but not against the Japanese in the Pacific. Or they would have agreed to lend-lease assistance for the Allies only if President Franklin Roosevelt would eliminate the IRS altogether. If it feels as if House GOP leaders are small thinkers in a big time, it's because they are. They are shameless, shameful, and dangerous. They are also apparently wasting a whole lot of everybody's time. Senator Chuck Schumer has already declared Speaker Johnson's bill dead on arrival in the Senate. And Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell has already embraced the idea of keeping Israel aid tied to Ukraine aid, which puts him directly at odds with the Republican Speaker of the House. Do not be mistaken into thinking that Senate Republicans have it together, though. Last night, Republicans took to the Senate floor and spent 4 hours fighting with a fellow Republican after Senator Tommy Tuberville refused to give up his months-long blockade on military appointments as a protest, a one-man protest, over the Defense Department's abortion policy.
I really respect men of their word. I do not respect men who do not honor their word.
If this is the norm, who the hell wants to serve in the military when your promotion can be canned based on something you had nothing to do with?
And it's simply in my opinion, an abuse of the powers we have as senators.
We're going to look back at this episode and just be stunned at what a national security suicide mission this became.
Today, the Senate was finally able to break through the Tuberville blockade for a few hours and individually confirmed 3 military leaders. But Senator Tuberville has blocked almost 400 nominations, and he does not seem to be going anywhere. So this whole thing is not over yet, nor is the battle over aid for Israel and Ukraine. Meanwhile, House Republicans would rather be working on something else entirely. Last night, at least 50 House Republicans all appeared together for an interview, I guess you call it an interview, with Sean Hannity. If that alone wasn't weird enough, this is what happened.
Is this leading to impeachment?
We're going to follow the truth where it leads because we have a constitutional responsibility to do so. We're on it, and we're going to continue it.
Let me scan the room. How many of you think that that's where this is headed? Please raise your hand. Wow. The whole room. Thank you all.